Hello, dear colleagues in Estonian libraries. It is a great pleasure for me to be with you today and tell about the Sustainable Development Goals and, of course, to share experience how these goals have come to life in Latvian libraries. My name is Kristīne Deksne, and during my presentation I will try both outline the activities that we have done to promote librarians' understanding of SDGs and also provide an insight into the library's own activities that contribute to the progress of SDGs. I will also try to answer questions such as why we do, why it is important, and what we gain. And I will start with an overview about what has been done so far. The Latvian library community has been talking more about SDGs since 2017, when the first two lectures workshop on the topic were held for leading experts in the sector. Over 100 participants participated in the sessions. The lecture concluded with a practical session discussing what libraries in Latvia are already doing and what more could be done to achieve SDGs. Discussions on SDGs continued at library sector events in the following years. Latvian librarians are regularly informed about the various activities organized by IFLA, EBLIDA, including information about different materials, and several important publications have been translated and made available in Latvian. For example, the IFLA publication Libraries and the Sustainable Development Goals, a storytelling manual, the EBLIDA report, Think the Unthinkable, and others. To encourage librarians to look more in depth and help libraries to see the role in the sustainable development of their communities, the Latvian Library Report, which is prepared by Library Development Center at the National Library of Latvia, includes a section on SDGs that summarizes and analyzes the experiences of Latvian libraries in the area of SDG implementation. In 2019, the National Library of Latvia, the Latvian National Commission for UNESCO, and the Library Association of Latvia launched a seminar series, Libraries and Sustainable Development, We Build This World Ourselves, which aimed to highlight the role and involvement of libraries in achieving SDGs, discuss the opportunities for libraries to improve the lives of their communities, and share stories of activities that have already been implemented. And 4 regional seminars were organized during 2019 and 2020. Guest lecturers from Sweden, Finland, and Norway shared their experience stories in the regional seminars, in addition to the experiences of local libraries. The seminar series was rounded off by a major conference for Estonian, Latvian, and Lithuanian museums and libraries, localizing the sustainable development goals through Baltic museums and libraries, which was watched online by over 1,000 participants on the 23rd and 24th of September 2021. The conference offered presentations by local and international sector experts and also practical workshops to gain knowledge, try out useful tools, and network with colleagues from the Baltics. The conference website is still available, by the way, and it provides useful resources, for example, conference conclusions, conference video recording, opinion papers on the course of the conference and the findings it revealed, etc. So you are welcome to use it. The activity of the Library Association of Latvia and the National Library of Latvia in previous years has resulted in a number of significant achievements in 2021, including the previous mentioned conference of Baltic museums and libraries, also a webinar on European structural and investment funds, funding opportunities for libraries in 2021-2027, the second European report on sustainable development and libraries and others. All these activities have been implemented in cooperation with other institutions such as the Latvian Museum Association, EBLIDA, etc. That is why I would describe 2021 as a year of successful partnerships. One of the most significant works of the last year, which actually finished in the first half of this year, was the second European report on sustainable development and libraries. I can say that EBLIDA saw our commitment to play the role of experts and public advisors on sustainable development issues and offered the National Library of Latvia to work together on the second European report on sustainable development and libraries. The content of the report is based on the results of a survey sent to European library associations in autumn 2021. And the report includes survey summary and profiles of 17 countries. Each of these profiles include a general background, SDG national priorities and policies, and selection of SDG-oriented projects and some hints about funding, sources and evaluation. We are very honored to have the opportunity to work with EBLIDA on this report and are pleased with the work which is done. And of course, I invite everyone who has not yet managed to read the second report on sustainable development and libraries to do it. And this year, we are working on transferring understanding and knowledge on social sustainability into planned and systematic practical actions. We have been thinking about that issue for a while, and the second European report on sustainable development and libraries also showed that there is a problem with evaluating SDG-oriented library projects. Lack of evaluation or evaluation carried out in a traditional way suggests the need for innovative assessing schemes. We are translating publication of EBLIDA towards the implementation of SDG indicators in European libraries, but it will not solve the problem, and working on specific library indicators is a matter for the future. Still, but especially in the early stages, librarians often asked, what are the SDGs that directly resonate with the work of libraries? In reply, first of all, I am saying that libraries are connected absolutely with all SDGs, just as each country can have its own priority development goals. Each library also will have its own priority SDGs, depending on the national and regional development priorities and the needs of the community and the library's own vision. But if I have to name and highlight some of the SDGs that are most relevant to library work, then I will mention goal number 4, quality education, where libraries promote and offer lifelong learning opportunities, reading promotion activities, learning and other educational activities. And goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities, which includes the preservation and protection of cultural heritage, work in the field of local history, participation in community development projects. Goal number 16 can also be mentioned, where target 16.10 is about providing access to information on public administration and civil society. Libraries help to understand and use this information to receive public and municipal services. And aspects related to all SDGs include providing access to information as well as inclusive library environment. And now I will tell you about some library activities that will show the involvement of Latvian libraries in Agenda 2030. The first library I want to mention is Valmiera Library. Valmiera Library was one of the first libraries in Latvia which understood and was aware of the importance of SDGs and linked library activities with the concept of sustainable development. Valmiera Library has implemented many activities that clearly show the library's participation in promoting the sustainable development of its community. I choose to mention just two activities from Valmiera Library, and in cooperation with Valmiera municipality, Valmiera Library has developed and Valmiera Education Board has licensed two adult informal education programs, Balanced Life, Environment, People, Society, and Balanced Life 2. During the 5 sessions of the course, participants can learn about the development of environment and society, understand the interrelationship and impact of these processes. The aim of the course is to raise people's awareness of the challenges and solutions to society and environmental sustainability, and to inspire them to change their daily habits in line with SDGs. Participants can attend individual sessions or the whole course. And the second activity is participation in the international project My Green Identity. The project emphasizes the role of libraries in initiating and supporting various activities to change public thinking and promote environmentally friendly living habits. The ultimate aim of the project My Green Identity thematic network project is to fight against climate change and support sustainable development. In addition, the purpose of the project was to expand and emphasize the role of libraries as active initiators in the field of sustainable development and make that role visible to decision makers and library customers. We are very proud and happy about the Ogre Central Library building, which was opened in the spring of 2021. The building project was found to be the most sustainable in a national competition titled Sustainability in Architecture, Construction, Design 2020. The library building is so-called a passive building or a building with zero energy consumption. The building has intelligently controlled lighting, using up to 80% of natural lighting. The building has a unique heating system with a sewage heat exchanger and a green plant wall in the atrium that uses collected rainwater for irrigation. Above the car park, solar panels have been installed on steel structures to generate local electricity. And of course, the library premises and its services are sustainable, flexible, and open to everyone. Latvian libraries pay a lot of attention to work with visually impaired people and people with reading difficulties. From kinesiotherapy classes to reading aloud of books and newspapers to improving library website to make information accessible to everyone. In Latvia, library services for people with visual impairments are mainly provided by the Latvian Library for the Blind, with branches in the regions of Latvia, while the National Library of Latvia and major regional libraries also have specially equipped reading rooms for people with visual impairments. In recent years, the Latvian Library for the Blind has made significant efforts to improve the circulation of adapted literature throughout Latvia, not only for the visually impaired, but also for people with print comprehension difficulties. For example, downloading audiobooks remotely, reading publications from the press and information from e-resources by phone, a series of programs on the library's YouTube account, purchasing and of equipment and starting of reproduction of books in large print, as well as equipment and software to convert textbooks into adapted formats to facilitate the learning process for children with reading difficulties. And that is only a part of what the library has done in recent years. Smaller libraries can also make a significant contribution to SDGs and be involved in the improving and developing the quality of life in their community. A great example of this is the Ambeli Library, and the story is about a parish with 837 inhabitants. Library is working in the field of social inclusion as well as promotion a healthy lifestyle in the community. And third thing, Ambeli Library is educating the community through hands-on activities. The library has created an agronomic exhibition, a flower bed on the windowsill from A to Z, which works in real time, giving the opportunity to see the whole chain of activities, from planting to harvesting and use. We also have many examples of library projects focused on promoting local business development, educational activities, local history and community building activities, etc. Unfortunately, I can't tell everything today, but to sum up, I can say that the work of Latvian libraries in the field of SDGs is mainly carried out in three main directions: raising public awareness of SDGs and sustainable development in general, and that is done by organizing seminars, lectures, exhibitions, discussions, and other events explaining the concept of sustainable development and the meaning of SDGs. The second way is organizing thematic activities to promote the progress of one or more SDGs. Those also are activities for the unemployed, health-related activities, media and information literacy events, etc. And the third direction is focusing on SDGs components of libraries themselves, about library services, environment, buildings, and premises. The majority of SDG activities are carried out within the daily library workflows and budgets. Projects are written and fundings is sought from international, national, and regional funds to finance larger and more ambitious activities. The thematic coverage of projects is very broad, and many of them directly or indirectly contribute to the progress towards the SDGs. So, why it matters? Why it is important? The Sustainable Development Goals are important world-changing objectives that require cooperation among governments, international organizations, and world leaders. It seems impossible that the average person can make an impact, but everything starts on a personal level. Change starts with you. Every human on Earth, even the most laziest person among us, is a part of the solution. Fortunately, there are some super easy things we can adapt into our routines that if we all do it, it will make a big difference. Therefore, the first reason why it matters is a change in daily habits. Education and public awareness raising are important contributors to the progress of SDGs, where libraries can make a significant contribution. Libraries support and contribute to the achievement of SDGs through their services by creating a safe and inclusive environment for everyone, by providing access to information resources of all types and content, as well as information and communication technologies. Also by contributing to public education, by identifying, collecting, and preserving cultural heritage, by transferring knowledge, by promoting literacy, etc. However, for libraries to be able to work effectively and purposefully for their communities within the framework of SDGs, librarians must first be able to identify themselves within the context of sustainable development and envisage the role of their library in educating the community and contributing to the advancement of SDGs. Therefore, I can say libraries are important and contribute to sustainable development, also to the life of their community by educating and raising public awareness. It also gives opportunity to speak with policymakers in one language, and the work in the field of SDGs helps to link the library activities with the sustainable development planning documents of your city or region. Few words about what libraries gain when they go with the SDGs. First of all, that is an opportunity to raise the awareness of librarians, as it was mentioned before. It is also the opportunity to change the role of library and to show different or new aspects of library to your community, or I can say opportunity to change the way how the library is perceived. In our case, it also helped to be libraries more visible at national and international level. And I know that libraries in Estonia are also included in the national strategic document Estonia 2035 that deals with SDGs and assesses Estonian advances in fulfilling the goals. And of course, it gives libraries a wider opportunities for cooperation. I have written some suggestions, but I think you have already taken all those aspects into account. Recommendations based on our experience can be divided into two parts. The first part is for every librarian and can be implemented in each specific library. And the second part of recommendations is, I can say, such a general conclusions or recommendations for those who organize educational work of librarians and manage the whole process within the field. On the library level, first of all, I could suggest to find and research the regional, national, and international sustainable development planning documents. Then identify yourself and try to see your place in the context of sustainable development. Try to evaluate the priorities of the library and the local community, and based on everything mentioned before, develop a library action plan to promote sustainable development. And that's all. You are welcome to look and build cross-sectoral partnerships and corporations and just start working. If we speak about organizing the work of libraries in the field of SDGs, from our experience, I can say that one of the most important things is to identify and find key persons who will see the field, will be able to raise the awareness of librarians, who will collect the experience, will be informed about different international publications and events and trends. Thanks to the second European report on sustainable development in libraries, I know that you have a working group with the Estonian Association of Librarians, Fresh Approach, which is dealing with the Agenda 2030. So that is very good. We can suggest also to use step-by-step strategy. It means you should start slowly, but organize activities regularly and define the goals. When it is more or less reached, move further or add some new aspects. And we would also suggest to think about translations of international publications into the national languages. Also about sharing experience stories, gathering those experiences, making new partnerships and cooperating and finding new partners. And of course, being patient. Overall, it can be concluded that the awareness of librarians in Latvia about sustainable development of society and the link between SDGs and libraries has grown considerably in the recent years. Latvian libraries have embraced SDGs and are able to see the relevance of their work in relation to them. However, a large part of activities and events are not planned with a link to specific SDGs. The link to sustainable development is mostly made later in the analysis. Therefore, the work started in the area of education and capacity building of librarians on SDGs should be continued, transferring the understanding and knowledge on societal sustainability into planned and systematic practical action. It is also important to move from a general level to a deeper level of understanding as we continue to learn about and implement SDGs. Looking at developments in Europe and globally, the role of SDGs is only expected to grow, and sustainability will become increasingly important in the work of libraries. Therefore, the goal we intend to move toward is to mainstream sustainable development into the core business of libraries, seeing SDGs as one of the library's work streams and responsibilities. Thank you.